In this video, we're going to go over 10 new things that will save Overwatch 2. We're going to catch you up to every bit of important information about things coming to Overwatch and some things that we think Overwatch needs to really push through and become incredibly successful. But if you enjoy the content, do me a solid and smash that like, subscribe, and tell me what new thing do you want to see in Overwatch down below, and let's jump into it. Now, the first huge announcement was the tournament system, a new way to play where you can build a team and compete across scheduled matches. And this is such a big deal, something that a lot of players have been asking for a very long time. Now, not only does this give players something outside of rank to play in a coordinated environment, but I think that this is really where you experience Overwatch in its true form. If you've never played in a coordinated team, you're really missing out because Overwatch is one of the most team-centric games period, and ranked just doesn't do it justice. In addition to that, competitive tournaments could have their own set of prizes, and this could be anything ranging from coins to skins to maybe even money. We don't know at this point. Now, something that Overwatch has never done well that they could definitely tie into a tournament system is a path to pro, a legitimate path to pro. A lot of people are like, hey, how do you go pro in Overwatch? And these days, it's not really that clear, and it really has never been that clear. But with other games actually having a built-in tournament system that leads directly into pro play, I think it would be really cool to have tournament systems that turn into leagues, that turn into points, that turn into qualifications, that potentially could lead you all the way through to some form of pro qualifier. It would be really, really cool. And I think it would definitely bridge ranked players with pro players and get people more interested in esports altogether, which is a good thing all around. Now, the next thing that we know is coming, that's a really big deal, is ability and ultimate reworks. We know Nade is on the chopping block, which is fantastic because screw freaking Cass Nade. As someone who plays Cass, it's just a dumb freaking ability, and pretty much everyone agrees. Perma Stealth and Translocator are on the chopping block for Sombra. Mercy's getting changes, May's getting changes, Rally's getting changes, and there's still a hog rework around the horizon. Now, I think that the game is actually pretty balanced right now, really, really crazy, but there are some abilities and characters that are really unfun to play against and not really that fun to play with either, and it looks like they are specifically targeting those aspects of these kits. So if we could have a balanced state with less annoying things in the game, I think that people would just be happier overall, but it's a slippery slope because if you start changing things, are we going to lose that balance? You know, can you get rid of these annoying aspects and keep balance intact? It's hard, and we'll have to wait and see how Blizzard does. Now, next up, we're getting a huge change to ranked where the average rank of a lobby is actually going to be shown at the start of a match made screen. So you're going to know what level of a lobby is this. Is it a GM lobby? Is it a Masters lobby? Is it a Diamond lobby? So you know whether or not you are in a higher or lower lobby than your rank, and it can definitely adopt your play based on that, and it's good information overall. While your personal ranks will still not be shown, which for the record I still greatly disagree with, but at this point it doesn't seem like Blizzard is going to roll that back, I am really happy to see more transparency and more information about what kind of lobby you're walking into in the pre-match loading screen, and you don't have to like slowly figure out that you are someone that needs to hard carry this game based on you being a higher than the lobby SR, or you're someone that's going to be in a fish out of water scenario, and you play fundamentally different in both of these. Now, the next thing that we know is coming to Overwatch is Weapon Inspect. Now, this is still not coming until Season 6 at the earliest, even though it was in the reveal trailer. I mean, it's definitely really cool. I can't wait to see Genji's potentially. I'm super excited about that. But freaking Season 6, man, that's so long, but I guess it is what it is. Now, next up, we do got to talk about PvE, and PvE is actually apparently coming sooner than we thought. We all imagine that PvE is kind of like our dad that left to get milk and still hasn't shown up, and we don't expect him to show up anytime soon, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe they actually will come out with PvE incredibly soon, just out of nowhere, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but I think PvE is going to be a really, really important thing, a pivotal moment for Overwatch and Overwatch's history. Depending on how well they nail it, I can imagine it branching off into something that is like Borderlands, Destiny 2-esque, where it's like a giant sub-community or maybe even PvE only players. And there's people that come and play Overwatch just to enjoy the PvE, and overall it brings more people into the fold and the game expands because of it. And I'm interested also personally on the content side how PvE content is going to perform. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but overall I'm incredibly excited for PvE, and I think that it has the potential, if it's nailed correctly, to be insane for the future of Overwatch. So yeah. Now next up is new heroes, which we definitely know that new heroes are coming, and we know both of them are going to be a support, and one of them is apparently gonna be a cute support. We don't exactly know what that means. It seems to be a male support, but at this point we don't have a definitive idea except for some amounts of graphics that people kind of think that it's maybe this boy that is in like a mech, but also a support. We'll really have to wait and see on that one. I'm super excited for new characters though, and the supporting role definitely needs a lot more characters. So yeah, it's a good thing that 2 supports are going to be added, and it should balance out the roles a bit better. Now next up, let's talk about some things that we need in Overwatch that haven't been announced, but I think should be added to the game. First off is a play test team. A lot of games have been putting ample resources into developing a play test team, a team of players across different mains, across different ranks, and of course there are going to be some people that come from other games with high levels of knowledge, and they build a team in-house that their entire job is just to play test game balance. They test over and over again from different ranks, from different perspectives, and it allows them to have more educated opinions about balance rather than a lot of the time with Blizzard, where it's kind of just random opinions of players that may or may not grind the game as much as they need to make these educated balance decisions. And that's only one piece of the puzzle. I think another thing that a playtest team could do is actually help them build in-client guides that can help new players learn the game of Overwatch the right way. There's still so much misconception. In fact, a huge part of my channel is breaking down many of the misconceptions that the system itself just shows you and portrays. Like, things are not intuitive. When you have 3 people stacking cart, it goes faster. Everyone thinks, hey, we got to stack that cart. When the progress bar creeps up and you don't think about giving up space, you don't even know what space means. And there's all these funky concepts and terminology and things that, in my opinion, at a base level, if you learned it right when you started, it would help your development as a player and increase your enjoyment in Overwatch. And none of that is there. So I think that that would be another really, really great addition to Overwatch, just having more information and resources for new players inside the game itself. Now next up, I think that Blizzard should start doing more small buffs. And what do I mean by small buffs? Well, Blizzard has been doing pretty impactful buffs here and there that are shaking up the meta. Doing like Baptiste Lamp from 10% to 25%, changing up numbers here and there that are making really sizable impacts. But I think that they should start buffing things on a really tiny scale, especially when the game is fairly balanced. It's okay to just have a balanced patch notes come through and you just touch a character a little bit. Like maybe you take Genji and you're like, all right, we'll give him only his ammo back. And maybe you think that Genji needs more, and maybe they think that Genji doesn't really need that much. But regardless, why not do a mini buff and see what happens? We could do this with characters like Genji, characters like Reaper, characters like Hanzo, or maybe some tanks and supports, whatever the case may be. The idea is that instead of doing something huge and meaningful and sizable, instead of doing nothing, take these characters that might be underperforming in some regard and do something that is like maybe a quality of life change slash very, very small buff, and just apply that to several different characters on a really small scale. So you're just adding little drops of sand to their power level as opposed to just throwing bricks at it. And yeah, you're not going to shake up anything too severely. And I think overall, it's nice for characters to see just more active changes to their characters, even if they aren't super impactful all the time. The next up, we do got to talk about more skin collabs. I think the One Punch Man skin collab was freaking nuts, and I would love to see more. It's a great way to bring more people into Overwatch, and I think they're going to be more important, especially when we have that PvE, so we can kind of bring in a more casual audience into the game, and then they have a more casual game mode to play. PvE, it's going to be really, really cool. And then last up, I think that we need better drops. If any of y'all have been looking at the drops on Twitch recently, they've been really, really sleeper. Some of the ones at the start were decent, but it would be cool if we had a bit better drops. But I know that I'm going to be a little biased here because I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at twitch.tv/coach_mills. So yeah, plug in the links down below. But if you like the video, smash the like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.